actually, right before we get into the episode, that is episode 89, let's get into some big fish that needs to be fried. Ever since the release of episode 88 to this newest episode, there's been a lot of flame wars. There's been a lot of speculation. There's been a lot of spoilers, and there's been a lot of shit going on, if you will. There's actually, to be completely frank, there's been a lot of flame wars within a rumor mill, within an office space that I like to call the Dragon Ball Super or Dragon Ball fandom, in this platform at least. That is the internet. And overall, I myself have been trying to stick away and actually just stay away completely from spoilers because I just want to be surprised and completely infatuated and interested with whatever happens on screen on a week-to-week or bi-week basis when it comes to these episodes. But for the most part, the one thing that I have been specifically interested in, subjectively, which is the speculation over the two female Saiyan theory. Apparently, we do get confirmed in this episode, of course, which is there are more than one female Saiyan. For those you don't remember, or for those you don't know, back in episode 88, we were introduced to the character Caulifla, or Cauliflower, which we all assumed, myself included, was the female Broly character. However, we're confirmed later in this episode that there is more than one female Saiyan, and that this new character could in fact be the female Broly character. And I just wanted to quickly clarify that right out of the gate, because it was something that was heavily speculated since the week that has passed from episode 88 to now. And for me personally, I kind of feel disappointed, if I had to be completely blunt and frank, with myself mostly, because when I did my review for episode 88, I really should have stuck with my gut feeling, because in my bones, I really felt like it's impossible for her to be female Broly, because when you think about it realistically, from every kind of standpoint, she doesn't look like female Broly. She doesn't look like the female character we've seen in any kind of visual or artistic promotional imagery for this arc regarding female Broly. And it's confirmed in this episode that she is not, in fact, the female Broly character, and it's an entirely new character who's not really named in this episode, but via spoilers is this character called Kale, or Kali. For all intents and purposes, because I did not hear her name specifically being, her character being named, I'm just gonna call her or pronounce her as Kali. So let's just stick with that for now. For the most part, she is the female Broly character, or these female Berserker Saiyans, as they're kind of being referenced in the spoilers, which I feel is pretty fucking cool and as far as title goes. But for the most part, I just needed to clarify that, and I just feel disappointed because when you think about it, yeah, realistically, it makes no sense for her to be different from the designs we got previously, and it doesn't make sense to have the mindset that is, oh, well, they probably came up with a new design and changed it last minute. That makes no sense on a business standpoint. It's something that should have been done and taken care of in the conception and pre-production of this arc, which of course did happen because they're two different people. And also, in the great scheme of things, it really opens my eyes to the possible importance of the character Kabe. For me personally, I'm not a big fan of Kabe. I don't hate him. I don't love him or like him as much as other people. I just don't understand it. However, in this episode, I'm willing to give Kabe an out for legitimacy, because if his purpose is to bring in fucking female Saiyans who are being called Berserker Saiyans, who have the power of Broly and design, unfortunately, depending on your personal preference, I'm just saying, there's gonna be some vulgarities coming out of my mouth. Get ready, folks. I have a fucking huge erection. It's fucking, at this point, it's a foot away from me. It's fucking huge. But I'm just saying, I want to see these women kick some fucking ass and do something very impressive. It's something we've all wanted. It's something that we all have been asking for, and we're finally getting it. And I can't wait for that moment to bust that nut. I can't fucking wait! Hello everybody, Josh12 back again with another video. I'm here with another Dragon Ball Super episode review. I'm here to review episode 89 titled An Unknown Beauty Appears, the Tenshin-Style Dojo's Mystery. If you've not seen the latest episode of Dragon Ball Super, please go check it out because this review may or may not contain spoilers. But that being said, let's get into the episode review at hand. Now, this is the big, obvious Tien episode, and boy was it, kind of. Goku heads over to Kame House, which is Master Roshi's home, and finds out via Oolong that Tien has developed a martial arts dojo with Chaozu and has invited Master Roshi over to be a instructor. And in the great scheme of things, this episode is kind of like a flashback episode. If you think about it, this episode kind of takes place during the events of episode 88. In episode 88, we got a flashback of Goku asking Piccolo not only to join the team, but to train Gohan, which was a major plot point of episode 88. However, we kind of, at least some of us kind of thought, well, what was Goku really doing that was so important that he couldn't really focus on training Gohan himself? Well, we figure out that, well, he was recruiting Tien and Master Roshi. And during the events of this recruitment thing that's kind of going on, we get introduced to the female character. And I can't really pronounce her name because the way it's spelled, because I really didn't pay attention to her that much because I really didn't care, which is a major rant I want to get into later, which is Yorin. Her character, I'm hoping I'm saying it right because it just sounds like urine that's coming out of my mouth. But essentially, her character is a woman who supposedly has a hatred for Tien. And we later find out that she has a backstory with Tien, which I'll get into in a second. But while the course that is Goku trying to get Tien to get on the team, and Master Roshi doing a lot of crazy things, which was really cool and fun. That's kind of the main thing I wanted to point out, which is that this episode may not be amazing, at least from my perspective, but it was very fun. And it was also very sexualized. Dragon Ball Super has a very weird problem with censorship, whether it be with the blood or the gore or the violence and the sexuality. But in the great scheme of things, Dragon Ball Super has been trying to find a sweet spot with being its own show and also being nostalgic for what came prior, which is its predecessors Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. In a lot of ways, it's been failing in these certain aspects, but also has been succeeding. However, I found it interesting that in this episode, they tried to over-sexualize things with this character of Jorin and Master Roshi being all, the dirty old geezer that we all know and love him to be. This episode has a lot of Master Roshi doing non-PC things. And I have to say kudos for them for doing that, because even though we didn't get the over-sexualized seeing naked people but not really seeing naked people like we got with Dragon Ball, we do get some of that in this episode, and I have to appreciate it. Because we have to think about it in realistic terms, folks. We don't really get a lot of sexualized things in Dragon Ball Super. I think the closest thing to any kind of sexualized scenarios is probably like when Goku has kind of run in with Bulma when she was naked in a towel or so to speak. But beyond that, there's nothing really overly sexualized. Maybe like girls in bikinis and maybe like dirty magazines we've kind of seen in the background. But beyond that, there's nothing really overly sexualized in this series. But in this episode, we get a lot of Master Roshi perving out, and it's kind of fun. It's really entertaining, and I that's kind of like the main aspects of this episode I really enjoyed. But beyond that, this character is out for violence. She's out to get revenge on Tien, and apparently she takes all of Tien's students and creates an army of darkness, an army of the undead zombies. She has been learning witchcraft to take over the town and wreak havoc. And Goku Tien, with the help of Chaozu, who is a person and is doing stuff. Surprising. I was baffled. But yeah, he's here. He's not just a Pokemon puppet, or like what I like to consider him, which is just like a keychain. He's basically apparel at this point. Let's be honest. He's apparel. He's an accessory. But yeah, beyond that, Goku Tien, with the help of Master Roshi, of course, who does in fact later on become one of the undead as well as a zombie drone, have to defeat this character and defeat her army, have to save the town in full. And we later find out through her talks with Tien that this character has a backstory with Tien. And it's a very boring bullshit backstory with Tien, I might add. I mean, like, for all of Dragon Ball fans out there who bitch and fucking whine about the Broly shit, let's be honest, this urine chick, she ain't got shit going on for herself. I mean, first, she can't fight. Her witchcraft sucks ass. All you have to do is peel off the paper and it's all done. And then on top of that, he didn't give her the time of day. Like, fuck you, bitch. Like, who gives a fuck? Like, honestly, so you didn't get to fight him. You hold a grudge for that long and you come up with this half-ass fucking revenge scheme? I mean, Jesus, that's almost as stupid as, like, a Pilaf scheme. And Pilaf is a fucking schlub. I don't know. I was really baffled with this chick and her ways of revenge seeking that gets nowhere. I mean, at this point in time, even Goku got pissed. He was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna blast Masaroshi into fucking oblivion. I mean, for fuck's sake. It was pretty insane. Yeah, she was kind of like completely a waste of time in my opinion. Which comes to my major point of this episode and my major rant. Look, episode 89 was fun, it was entertaining. We got the introduction of 2 new female Saiyans, the female Broly, along with Cauliflower or Caulifla. Not to mention, we got Tien back into the fold. We got to find out what Tien does on his off time. We got some entertaining, fun, sexualized action with the all lovable and pervy and possible misogynistic or sexist Master Roshi. But with that being said, her story stunk, and there was a huge missed opportunity with this episode. Look at it in these terms, folks, because I'm about to teach you some shit, and it's very fucking obvious. Tien Shenhan is a very specific character. He's a stoic character. He's like an unsung hero. For me personally, he's actually one of my favorite parts of Dragon Ball, or at least the early parts of Dragon Ball, because he was so interesting, cool, and stoic, and it was kind of really awesome to see Goku get a rival that could really go toe-to-toe with him. It was very cool to see that happen in the Dragon Ball days. However, ever since then, he became what a lot of characters became in Dragon Ball Z, which was a very interchangeable and disposable human character. It was something that was unfortunate, and it was something that happened with his character. However, with this episode being the big Tien episode, there were so many missed opportunities. Number one, Tien didn't really get to do anything. Sure, we got to see what he does in his off time. He has his own dojo. He is a teacher of martial arts. Cool. We got to see him do his forearm trick, which was awesome. Really good throwback to Dragon Ball. But he didn't really do anything cool. He didn't save the day. He didn't fight Goku in like some kind of weird sparring match. He didn't do anything of relevancy. Maybe that would happen with the next episode, which I won't get into right now. But for an episode that was supposed to be the big Tien episode, this was really a bummer. He didn't really prove himself and prove his worth to being a part of this team. So that was a huge missed opportunity right out of the gate. Another missed opportunity, which was this unknown beauty character. Let's be fucking blunt, people. We all thought that Launch was going to return. Don't try to play games and pretend that you weren't thinking it. It was a character that we all wanted to come back and thought was going to come back, and she didn't. I feel like that was realistically the biggest missed opportunity of this episode. Think about it in these terms. That character is very much in line with Tien's character. She is obsessed with Tien's character. They've always been kind of neck and neck with each other since Dragon Ball, and because of Akira Toriyama, as much as I respect and love the guy for what he gave, which was this franchise, he really fucked up and dropped the ball with his female characters. Biggest, Launch. It was a huge missed opportunity for not bringing her back, because Dragon Ball Super and all of its throwbacks and nostalgia did a lot of cool, interesting things. They did. As much as we like to bitch on the show and shit on the show, they did some really cool things. Hell, this show made Yamcha cool again. They did a Yamcha baseball episode. They made him cool again. I don't know how, but they did it. They brought back Dr. Slump. They fucking made Vegeta a fucking family man that got fangirls wet all over. They fucking made Goku fans reanalyze their lives, for better or worse. They brought back Future Trunks. They made fucking a stupid character like an evil Goku really menacing and awesome. They made Yamcha cool again. I had to say it again, because it's fucking baffling and crazy. But you couldn't bring back Launch? Like, really? You couldn't bring back fucking Launch? Are you fucking stupid? You fucking couldn't bring back the one character that we all thought and we all wanted to come back, you stupid fucks? Are you fucking kidding me? And you bring this broad and her stupid ass backstory of fucking, oh, we used to work at the crane school and you didn't pay attention to me. Go fuck yourself. And you come up with this half-ass scheme with witchcraft. You're gonna come up with revenge? That's your fucking scheme? That's your fucking scheme. A character that's been kicking ass and stoic as he's like the Qui-Gon Jinn of this fucking series, and you're gonna take his ass out? The fuck's the matter with you? Toy, with all their nostalgia horseshit, I don't give a fuck what Toriyama says. Bring back Launch. The fuck's the matter with you? And you couldn't do it. You couldn't fucking do it, and I'm fucking pissed about it. Look, I like this episode. It was all fun and games. Goku came over, he had some laughs. Master Roshi was perving out. It was nice to get some sexual fucking feelings. It was nice. It was nice to get this throwback nostalgic kung fu feel with Tien and his dojo. But with a character that is so synonymous with the character Tien, you're finally making a Tien-centric episode, and you couldn't bring back the one character that is so fucking paralleled with his character. I mean, fuck Chaozu, he's a puppet. But Launch is a fucking woman who kicks ass. You couldn't bring her back at least for this one-off episode? It's like stupid easy to do. It drives me nuts. Because here's the thing. Anime is filled with a lot of female characters. A lot of just great female characters that you're not going to get anywhere else. However, how many times are you going to see the same kind of female character in anime? Yurin, her character. How many times are you going to see that same fucking character? For every fucking anime character you see that is a fucking Asian looking woman who fucking has long, dark, loopy brown hair, brunette hair, I'm going to tell you something. There's hundreds of them. There's thousands of them. But you know what? There's only one Launch. There's only one chick who can pull off being a brunette and a blonde and who can fucking kick your ass with a machine gun and talk shit while you fucking doing it. There's only one of those, and she is forgotten for the rest of this franchise for fucking stupid ass reasons that make no fucking sense. God damn, really, you dropped the ball. That's really the biggest missed opportunity. But you know what? I've been rambling and ranting way too long. This episode, look, it was okay. I liked it for what it was, but my final verdict stands as a solid, in my personal subjective opinion, solid 6 out of 10. It was an okay episode. I wouldn't say it's my favorite. I will say it was probably the most fun and entertaining episode I got out of this arc so far. This episode is like somewhere in the middle, where it's like, it's not terrible, but it's not really anything amazing. But with that being said, yeah, my final verdict stands as a solid 6 out of 10. It was an okay episode. Look, I feel like there was just a lot of missed opportunities, like honestly. I feel like for a Tien episode, they could have went better. They could have went a little farther, and with this unknown beauty character appearing, they could have just made it Launch. They could have just done that, and it would have served the fan base. It could have served Toei a lot better, but now we get this chick. I don't know, she was just like an average broad who like added nothing. Like I said, once again, for every Asian brunette with loopy long hair, there's only one Launch. And she's forgotten forever for really stupid reasons. And I think that's just disrespectful and dumb to a character that we all love. If this saga is giving us stuff that we always wanted, which is the return of Gohan, or to get female Super Saiyan characters, bring back Launch. You know, I mean, come on, let's get it on. Come on. But with that being said, that's pretty much it. That's all my thoughts on Dragon Ball Super episode 89. I hope you enjoyed. I hope someone enjoyed. I fucking went off the rails. But with that being said, I can't wait what's to come. Recently, Dragon Ball Super Volume 1 of the manga was released on May 2nd. I did a review on it. I did post it on my channel. Please check it out. I would really appreciate that. Also, subscribe to my channel because that will help out the channel and help out myself in a huge, great way that I would appreciate personally. But with that being said, I've been Josh12. And I hope you enjoyed.